What's going on, boys and girls? Bones NY. This was going to be a response type video to your video that you put up the other night. You were very heartfelt, very much expressing your gratitude for a lot of things that you have in life. When I watched the video, as I listened to what you were saying, I was, agreeing with everything you were saying and thinking, man, boy, I could talk about that. Boy, I could share some thoughts on that. But this is the 5th attempt at making a video, doing that, sharing some of the things I thought of when I watched your video. And each time I've tried to make this video, it's just ended up being a overly long, drawn out, useless turd of a video. And for all I know, this one will be too. But for better or worse, I'm going to make this video and I'm going to upload it regardless of how good, bad, probably going to be all over the place. And I probably won't talk about a third of the things I wanted to talk about. So I've lost a lot of my ability to remember things, long term and short term. I think as we get older, for me definitely anyway, as I've gotten older, I tend to look back at my life in the past and either compare it to other people's lives, how they've came along, and kind of stack up my mistakes along the way to try and figure out how I've ended up where I'm at. And I don't know if anybody else does that or not, but it can become very consuming. I think every decision that a human makes in their life affects the rest of their life. And some of you may be going, well, duh, no shit. And as I look back on my life, I'm thinking, duh, no shit. But when you're in the midst of your life and you're faced with decisions or choices, you don't usually think about how it's going to affect the rest of your life. Or at least I didn't. And I don't know whether that's a good or a bad or a doesn't matter thing. I do know that I'm nowhere near where I thought I would be at age 50 in my life. But at the same time, as I look back and I look at my childhood years and my teenage years, I can honestly say that going through school, I never really thought about where I would be when I was 50 or 40. I never put a lot of thought into it. And that was a mistake, for one. And it's a mistake that should never have been made because I had parents, a mother and a stepdad, that they were great parents. And I was very fortunate to have both of them. I was very fortunate to have parents that were not drug addicts, not alcoholics, had their shit together and had their head on straight. For the most part. My mom, not so much. Looking back on it, my mom was a mess for most of her life, most of her adult life. And I didn't realize that growing up because she was my mom. And I don't think my daughter realizes her dad is a mess right now. But she will when she gets older and looks back. I hate that I've been a mess for the first 16 years of her life, but there's nothing I can do about it. And during that time, I don't think I've, by any stretch, been a bad father. I've done my best to teach her the right things, to impress upon her that she can always come to me when anything's wrong. And she has. I've built that trust with her to where she's come to me several times at critical times in her early life, and I'm grateful. I've got a great kid. So far at 16, couldn't ask for a better kid. Could ask for a kid that maybe, worked a little harder and, wasn't so lazy in certain areas, but that's the way some kids are. I love my daughter to death, and she just passed or crossed another threshold this morning. Today was her first day driving to school on her own. Man, that was surreal, watching her back out of the driveway and take off up the street. It almost seemed like I was watching somebody else's kid. See, I told you I was going to be all over the place in this video. And Bones, I apologize. I thought I really had a good video in my head that I was going to be able to upload for you. And maybe I will in a few days. I don't know. Well, you did mention in your video that you have a hard time hiding the fact that you care for people. And when you said that, I was like, wow, why would you want to hide the fact that you care for people? That is an awesome quality in a person. And I think what you meant was in the realm of the TTC. You try and hide the fact that you actually give a shit about the people that you're talking trash to. Maybe that's what you meant. I'm not sure.